Well, ahoy-hoy, and welcome back to On the Bench, where this week we're taking a look at the Vario 1918 Trendswatch. Please do stick around to find out what I think of the watch, and as a very small channel, every subscription, like, share or comment is very much appreciated. As ever, this is not an unboxing video. I don't like them, I don't do them. This watch has been thoroughly worn and tested to give you an accurate review and then reboxed for the video. Now, before we dive into this box, let's quickly look at who Vario are. Vario as a company are a pair of ex-graphic designers who in 2016 began out as a watch strap making company, and it's probably as watch strap makers that Vario are best known within the microbrand circuit. However, they've recently started making their own runs of watches, of which this, the 1918, is their third release to date. The box is supplied in a handy travel case, which is a very, very good idea, really. Why waste money or time on a box that a person can't take out of the house with them, particularly as a micro brand? This comes with a case that it is perfectly designed for taking away with you. Inside the box we will find our warranty card and a cleaning cloth and the 1918. And what is the 1918? Well, it's a very, very true to period recreation of a World War I trench watch, a design that predates the field watch, which most people will be aware. Wristwatches had been commercially available since the early 20th century, albeit in an expensive form. With the outbreak of World War I in 1914, there was an explosion in demand for wrist-mounted timepieces that didn't require you using your hand to fish a watch out of a pocket. The term trench watch is a post-war name for the prevalent style of the period, and they were made by everyone from small local watchmakers to large companies whose names are still very much around today. This example from Vario features a 37mm enamelled face with small seconds at the bottom and C3 lume on what I believe to be applied numerals around the edges. There is a double-domed sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating on the inside. The case is a mix of brushed and polished 316L steel and is 10mm high. The movement inside is a Miyota 82S5 gilt movement with hacking seconds, a 40-hour power reserve and a screw-down crown. Water resistance on the 1918 is stated at 100 meters. Hidden around the back is a nice World War I memorial motif. It's applied on one of their 18mm Crazy Horse bun straps, and this strap fits the 18mm lug width, and we have a lug to lug distance of about 45mm. Now, there are lots of options available with this watch, which is one of its charms. It's available in a wide array of lume colours, dial colours, no cost optional extra strap colours. You can adapt it really to what you want. It's also available in a medical version with pulsations graduated to, I believe, 30 pulsations around the outside. So if you are a medic, as I am, that's something which may appeal to you. It's simply a fact with me that I already have a medical graduated watch, so I wasn't particularly looking for another one at this time. It's available in two different sizes, the 37mm and a 40mm. This is the 37, and I am very pleased I ordered this particular size. With the lug-to-lug of 45, it wears a lot bigger than it is, and when you add the bun strap onto it, it's much more like wearing a 40mm on your wrist. So bear that in mind, even if you are usually a larger case wearer. If you have small wrists like I do, then the 37 might be more of an option for you. In terms of other options that are available to you, it can be ordered with an exhibition case back. It can be ordered with a plain empty case back, and for an extra $20 or £20 you can order one of these, a period correct shrapnel protector. And just look at that, it's fantastic. And for £20 or $20, I don't see why you wouldn't. I certainly did. Okay, I'm not exactly going to find much shrapnel flying around most places that I'm going to be wearing this, but what I am going to find is table edges, door frames, and it does a great job of keeping that sapphire crystal secure. I have a lot of time for the 1918 trench watch from Vario, and it's become a firm favourite in the time that I've owned it for many reasons. Firstly, I have all respect for Vario for choosing this design and doing it properly, rather than looking at doing just another field watch, which is a hugely saturated market with everyone really doing the same thing at just about every price point you can think of. Vario went earlier and decided on doing a trench watch, which very few, if anyone else, makes at the moment. And they've done it properly. And again, 10 out of 10 for them for picking something that's such a niche design, because niche design means niche sales, which isn't a huge market. But while that may put some makers off, Vario will have looked at it the other way around, in that niche sales means that there is a market there that isn't being catered to at the moment. And if you're doing these in limited runs, which I believe they are, then there's people out there like me just waiting for someone to make something like this so I can go and buy it. All the fixtures and fittings of this watch have been very nicely done. I can't see corners cut, and particularly for the price of this, at just under 300 UK and US before taxes, it's very reasonably priced. The strap, one of their own Crazy Horse numbers, Crazy Horse being, by the way, a style of leather, not the name of the design, is also really well done too. It's incredibly well made. All the little appointments are done in a way that other makers that I've come across don't do them, particularly in this price bracket. Let me show you what I mean. Take these studs here. Now, on cheaper bund straps that I've had before, these are press studs. So you fold it underneath, back over the top, click into place. Problem with this being that they're liable to pop off, they're liable to wear over time, and they're just not particularly secure. Now, they've done this properly on this one. Let me turn it over and show you what I mean. Instead of using press studs, which again you'll find on cheaper bund style straps, these are screw posts, which are very secure. They're not going to come off. It's just an upgrade that shows the attention to detail that Vario have put into this thing. And this carries on when it comes to the font that they've chosen to use for the front of the dial. This beautiful Art Nouveau / Art Deco font is very reminiscent of originals. You go and look at original trench watches, this is what they had on them. And well done to Vario for doing it. They've gone absolutely balls out on this to make it a modern recreation. Now, are there any bad points to it? No. In a word, I've not found anything I don't like about this watch. It's excellently made, it's beautifully executed. There's a couple of bear in minds for it. Like I said earlier, the first thing to bear in mind is the lug to lug size with this. It wears larger. I would advise considering ordering a smaller size than you would wear normally. It also comes as standard with the World War I tribute engraving on the back. For me, I think I rather would have had a plain case back, and if I'd noticed that when ordering it as an option, I would have taken it. So take a moment when, and if you are ordering one of these, to go through the options and decide what is best for you. Now, is it entirely authentic? Well, no. And why? Because if it was entirely authentic, this thing would be broken in 5 minutes, as original trench watches were in the day. But what Vario have done is, rather than adapt their design to be more modern, they've adapted the old design to take modern features, which really have no impact in the design itself. It's what it's made from. We have a sapphire crystal instead of literal glass, which you would have had on an original trench watch. We have modern, non-poisonous, non-fading loom on there. We have an automatic movement as opposed to a hand-wound movement with very little power reserve, as you would have had on an original one from 1914 to 1918. And they've added 100 meters of water resistance as opposed to pretty much none on an original from the period. And all this adds up to a lot of features for your money. Is the 1918 an all occasions watch? No, well, not for me anyway. Vario described this as a dress watch, and at 10mm high, it's certainly small enough to fit under a cuff. You could wear it with a suit, but for me, it's a really fun and unique, smart, casual option. I absolutely love this watch. If I still didn't have several dozen on my wish list, I would probably buy another 2 of these in different colours just to suit different outfits and different occasions. And if retro is your thing, at this price point and this sort of quality for that price point, if you order one of these, I honestly don't think you'll be disappointed. But what do you think? Have you seen one of these before? If so, or not, what's your opinion? Please do let me know in the comments. As ever, I've been your host, Jim. I'll see you before long with another review, and until then, please do take care.